Hi everyone, welcome back to Tashi's World of Books and welcome to another book series review video. Hey you guys, so this is going to be a short video. I'm not going to spend too much time today. I wanted to separate this video because I'm doing a deep dive into dark romance and specifically the captor-captive genre of dark romance. And I started another series that has 5 books in that series, and I was going to include that in here, but I've only finished book 1 and I don't want to separate it that way. So having said that, I'm only going to talk about this series in this video, and then I'll talk about the rest in the others. And this is the Aubrey Dark, and there are 3 books in the series, and I don't think that I don't know that the series has a name, I'm not sure, but the first book is his, the second book is mine, and then the third book is yours. And these are companion novels, so I always like to know that going in, because I thought his and mine were going to be the continuation of the same characters. And so after I finished his, I was like, oh, there's more to the story. And then I got into it. I was like, who the heck is this about? So know that going in. Okay, so this is a serial killer romance in that this serial killer is on the hunt, and he is hunting, and he has stalked and is watching and preparing to kidnap a guy whom he deems to be evil and worthy of death. So he only stalks and picks out those individuals whom have committed some kind of crime against humanity, beat their wives, a pedophile, something that he deems to be evil, and he is like the avenging angel, and he's going to take them out and make them confess and end their lives, basically. So he's on the hunt. So the book starts off with, she has a conversation, so it's, you know, very typical that, and the story's about Gabrielle and Kat. And Kat is having a conversation with one of her co-workers as well as her friend Jules. And Jules is like, you need to get back out there, you need to start dating, like why are you holding out? You know what, you just need to like kiss a random guy, or you need to go out to a bar. And Kat's like, I'm not going out to a bar, I'm not doing that. She's like, I dare you, probably won't even, I dare you to kiss the next hot guy that you see. And she's like, I'm not gonna do that, I'm not gonna do that. She's like, see, this is why you never get anywhere in life. And so so Jules basically bullies Kat into kissing the next random guy that she sees. And so she's like, gets up her gusto, and she gets her courage, and Kat's like, I'm gonna do it. And Jules is like, whatever girl, I'm out, bye. And so Kat is like, I can do this, I can do this. So she psychs herself up, and she walks into an elevator, and sure enough, the next guy that she sees is gorgeous beyond gorgeous, beyond gorgeous, beyond gorgeous, and she's like, I can do this. And she lays this kiss on this dude, and it is passionate, and it is sensual, and it ignites a fire in both of them. And that person turns out to be Gabrielle. And it is their story from there. And it is a very interesting story because it talks about the mind of a killer, a serial killer specifically, and what they battle with, and how when somebody comes into their lives, how can they compartmentalize that, and what do they do with that. And so it's the story of 2 broken people who find each other and find normalcy and find love and find something in one another. It's really quite interesting. And whether or not you are going to give up on the person that you care for, or whether you're going to stick with them and try and figure it out and figure out how to make it work. The only thing that I didn't like about this story is, you guys know I do 100% narration and audiobooks, and the narrator in this particular book I didn't like. Or I would have preferred that they did a male and a female narrator. So I did not like that she did Gav's voice as well. She doesn't do male voices well, so that sort of ruined the experience a little bit. And also, I think because I read such hardcore, like after reading like Amo Jones' Sicko, like after reading Whispers in the Dark by Letitia Newton, like those are like next level hardcore. So like if you're interested in dark romance and specifically captor-captive type situations, but you're not really sure that you're ready for like hardcore, this is like gentle. Like this eases you, it's like baby steps into it. So for me, it was like I was there and I was in it and I wanted to hear about their story, but it was so gentle that I was like, is this really a dark romance? that's like, because I'm not seeing it. You know, there are some other books that are just much more hardcore. So if you just want to like dip a toe, go here for sure. So this was a 4 out of 5 star for me for sure. Okay, so then the next book in the series is mine. It's much shorter, and as I said, I thought that this was a continuation of their story, and it's not. It is now one of Gav's, and it starts off like right away where Gav is having a conversation with his friend, and his friend's name is Rien, and Rien is a plastic surgeon, and Gav mentions him at the end of this book, and so this is Rien's story with Sarah. And so you learn that Rien is a plastic surgeon, and what he does is he basically uses his operating room to take out, he's a serial killer, and that's how he and Gav are friends, because they're both serial killers. And so he uses that platform to be able to target people who deserve to be targeted. And then you also see that Rien works for the government, works for the CIA, or works for a secret organization, and you learn that the people that come to him are sent to him by this organization to be handled and to be taken out. And so that's Sarah comes into his life for that reason, and so it's their story. So for me, and it was, you know, there were some complications and things that they had to work through. Sarah is struggling in her own right. You know, she's isolated in her life. She comes from a very abusive background. She's struggled her entire life. This particular story just didn't do it for me. I wasn't really interested in it. I didn't really care that much about the characters. It was an interesting story, but it didn't pack punch. Like, it just fell flat for me, considering this story was much better. So for me, I gave this a 3 out of 5 star. Is it worth the read? Yes, it was okay. But would I reread it? No. Would I recommend it? I don't know, maybe. And another thing that bothered me is I bought this book new, and this is neither here nor there, but I bought this book brand new, and the pages, it's not put together very well. Like, the pages are already coming out of the book, so I didn't like that. Because my books I like to keep them pristine. And the other thing is that there are typos and errors in here. So I was just like, not feeling that. So that bothered me. So that's mine. And then the last book in this series, and I have to say that this was my favorite. And this story is about characters that you find in that book. And so this is about Vale and Vale's story with Jessica. And Vale, you learn very quickly at the beginning, and we learn it at the end, is part of a government secret organization. You assume it's like the CIA or FBI or what, NIS, like something like that. So he's part of the U.S. organization. And Jessica decides, again, in all these books, you always have a crazy friend, and the crazy friend is always like, let's go ahead and do this. And Jessica's like, no, I don't do that kind of stuff. And they force her to do it. And so 4 friends head down to Mexico, 2 girlfriends, a 3rd girlfriend, and her boyfriend. So all 4 of them go down to Mexico, and when they're down in Mexico, they cross paths with Vale, and Vale has been sent on a secret organization to infiltrate this drug cartel, and we learn that the drug cartel is now stepping into the sex slave industry. And so when he's there, in order to infiltrate, he has to do whatever the cartel leader tells him, and he tells him, pick a girl. And make a long story short, the girl that he picks ultimately is Jessica. And Jessica is a sweet, innocent girl, and now she's swept up into the world of sex slavery, and she has to be trained to be a submissive slave, and they select Vale to do this. And so it's his struggle on how to do that whilst sticking to his mission, keeping her safe, ensuring that this all sort of works out for the greater good for everybody. And then does he fall for her, and what happens as a result? So this was super interesting. It wasn't at the height of like disturbing, like, you know, like if you read, for example, Pepper Winter's Dollar series and you read about the sex slavery there, or if you read Amo Jones and Sicko and they talk about sex slavery there, it's like, you know, like I said, it's gut-wrenching, whereas this is like really like minor. You know it, you see it, you hear it. and you recognize that this is happening, but it's not, it doesn't pack so much of a punch in that way. So that's why I said it's like baby steps into that. So if you are interested in going into yours, I would recommend it. This is not on audiobook. So interestingly enough, these two books are on audiobook. They're not on Audible. You will not find them there. You can get them on Libby. You can get them on Scribd. You can get them on Anytime, Anyplay. They're there as well. This is not, so you'll have to read this on Kindle and have Alexa read it to you. And I have to tell you, having Alexa read this to me in Alexa's voice was a much better experience than the narrator for these two. So I think that part probably added to why I like this more. So I don't know. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, where I gave this a 3, and then I gave this a 4. But if I were to pick between his and yours, this was my favorite, and then this came in next after that. So that is my review of the companion novels for this interesting story by Aubrey Dark, and she calls this one a bad boy romance. So they're all dark romances. They're an interesting read, something fun if you just want to step into that world, check it out, see if you like it and see if it's something for you. It's not too crazy, but it's crazy enough. That's interesting. So you guys, that is all that I have for today, and you guys know that I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So please like and subscribe and come hang out with me some more, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye guys.